these chairs that you want to kind of like...
That's what I usually do.
Oh.
And it gets a little too comfy.
Get comfy. Well, yeah,
no.
that'll work. We'll hang out.
I'm good.
Hello, people. We had Base Camp with Scott Reeder again. Like last year, really nothing to talk about in particular, because we're just killing time, right?
Last year they were building a bass for me. That was pretty exciting.
Right. That silver thing with the many strings and that you play in a fucked up way.
Yep.
That comes from a place of love. That's not trying to be insulting.
Backwards, upside down. And it wasn't quite done, but I got to see it for the first time. That was a very exciting day.
But you posted a lot of pics of it, and you've been using it on the new, wait a second, Fireball Ministry album?
Correct.
Ooh, that's a big one, and I know that's what she usually says, but that's a, let's see if we can catch that somewhere. Kiana, let's go over here. There we go. And now focus. The camera will focus when I say focus! No, it will not.
No.
How about this one? Focus! No? Yeah. Sorry? Yep. Why did it just...
I don't know.
That's not good. I don't like that.
That's not good.
There we go. The fact that I don't like that. Anyway, yeah, you used it on that album.
Yes.
Because I'm a stalker. Again, this is weird here. It's like you don't really know how to sit in these.
These look like they're adjustable.
They should be.
Put these down.
Feel like Captain Cook. Engage. That was kind of a nerd joke. I feel like a stalker because I see all the stuff you post on Facebook and your insane racks of stuff, and then you've got a Pro Tools rig next to it, and so I know what you're doing.
The laboratory.
The laboratory. On your ranch.
Yep.
So, that's it for Fireball Ministry stuff. Let's talk dogs and stuff.
Yeah, enough bass stuff.
Yeah, but that's... We're at Base Camp. Yes, he plays Warwick. Warwick, awesome. And Silver and Upside Down. Fine. Dogs. So, we all know, Scooter. But you have new dogs. You have all these mid-sized dogs, like labs and...
All kinds of stuff. We've got Great Danes crossed with English Mastiff. Now we have 2 Catahoula Leopard Hounds.
He said that earlier, and I think he's making that shit up. Say that again. Catahoula. Catahoula
Leopard Hound.
See, the running gap between me and my girlfriend is I make up dog breeds, and she knows that she's a trained animal care professional. And I was like, that's Obersteiner Sennenhund. And she's like, that doesn't exist. Yeah, she's like, that doesn't exist. I'm like, sure it exists. Look, that's very clearly that. So, Catahoula Leopard Hound.
Yeah, they're good cattle dogs. We actually have 3 head of cattle right now. 2 miniature cows. And then there was an orphan that my wife took on that's mom died out in the reservation. So we have 3 cows that we will never eat. They're lucky cows. Because I like beef.
But you're not a vegetarian.
I'm not a vegetarian. Okay. I don't know. I'm conflicted.
Because it sounds like you would be. Because, I mean, you have cattle and you take care of the animals. But then, do you purchase beef in a responsible way? You know what I mean?
Well, the beef that I eat these days, we raised.
Okay. How can you do that? Because that would be difficult.
Yeah.
I know it's hypocritical to say that, but I'm totally okay with the cruel treatment of animals that I don't know, but the ones I know.
Yeah, it's a heavy thing. I haven't made that jump to being a vegan or a vegetarian. Scooter would actually help me round up this cow every day. It would graze on our property and help me with the weed abatement. And then the day comes when the butcher shows up and they shoot it, and by the time they leave, it's in 4 chunks hanging in a truck. The average human that goes to McDonald's and buys a hamburger doesn't even think twice about it.
Oh, no. But, I mean, it's not just that you see the act, it's also that you have a relationship with this animal.
Yeah. You don't name it.
No?
You don't name that cow. It's a heavy thing.
But you only eat that beef that you raised yourself?
For the most part,
Okay.
yeah. It's very healthy. It's very lean. There's no hormones. You don't know what you're buying at a restaurant or in the grocery store. They shoot them full of hormones and all kinds of weird stuff. And they're not raised well. I don't know. Ours is all grass-fed.
Do you own milk?
Mm-mm.
Okay, because we just recently went vegan because my girlfriend read all these books about the one called The Cheese Trap and about dairy in cheese.
Yeah.
Beautiful cheese.
I love cheese. I have too much cheese.
Being bad for you and actually like literally being bad for you.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about like cancer causing bad and headache causing bad and stuff like this, but also she was getting more aware of what I don't think many people realize what it takes to get the milk. For a cow to give milk means a cow needs to continuously have calves, and then they take them away from them. And apparently it's a very horrible thing to do and causes like emotional distress.
Yeah.
And so it's, I don't know, I mean,
The whole industry's messed up.
the thing is, for me, I didn't make the decision, but Leslie cooks. So for me it's like, if I want to eat, I eat what she cooks. If it's vegan, well, I gotta eat that.
That's the way it's gonna be.
Yeah. And I make videos every day, so I don't go to the grocery store. So if there's no more milk in my fridge and there's almond milk or soy milk, well, you know what? That's what I got. So let's put it this way. I'm vegan for ethical reasons and the decision has been made for me. But I'm also not fighting it because it is the right thing to do, but it's easier for me because I didn't have to make the decision. I just have to go through with it.
Right.
So so you just buy regular milk?
Yeah, I don't drink a whole lot of milk. I eat yogurt. I have cheese.
Because life without cheese is just not worth living.
Just afternoon wine with some crackers and cheese.
Like lasagna without melty stuff.
Yeah.
Cheese is difficult, and none of the replacement products even come close.
No.
We bought a lot of stuff, a lot of expensive replacement products that came in like refrigerated boxes and stuff. Nothing melts like cheese. Nothing. So, yeah, but okay. Anyway, that was the vegan talk.
Now that we've established that I'm a hypocritical murderer,
I didn't say that, but I think it would.
I said it.
But I think it would be very difficult. I mean,
I'm conflicted. I'm definitely conflicted. Yeah.
Like we have dogs and cats and ferrets, who we usually in this country don't eat. Yeah. But if I lived with, Leslie wants chickens now. For eggs, I don't know where to put them though.
We do chicken eggs.
Yeah, but if I had chickens, I would never be able to like eat them.
Yeah.
So I established a bond with an animal really quickly.
Yeah. Well, we just have a bunch of hens. There is a cock around, but I don't know what purpose he serves. But
so that you can tell people you have a cock.
I think my wife plans on raising hatching a few eggs and raising more hens, but that hasn't happened yet. But they graze out in the front yard. We used to clip their wings so they'd stay in their pen, but now they jump out and they eat bugs.
They wouldn't like run away. I mean, you have a
and the dogs are strangely respectful. They've been yelled at a few times, but there's 4 or 5 chickens out in the yard all the time, and the dogs are like, "I want to eat you, but I'm in trouble."
Yeah, one of our dogs, that wouldn't work. And the new little Django, the little old guy, he wants to eat the ferrets all the time. Yeah. He's an old dog, but he's at the ferret cage and he's like,
I wouldn't mess with a ferret.
You know what? I thought the same thing. When we had to take care of a ferret because it didn't have a home, that's how it started. We're not ferret people like we like ferrets. We're ferret people because
crazy ferret people.
You know those, when someone says, I have a ferret, you build an opinion about them within a millisecond, right? You're like, it's this goth kind of guy and ferret up here, and the whole apartment is just like smelly. And you know ferret people. You know exactly.
Hey, we had a ferret for a while.
So you're ferret people.
We're ferret people. They're illegal in California.
Really?
Yeah, we adopted one that somebody couldn't keep for whatever reason.
Yeah, we had 3. We just had to put one down. She had cancer. But I thought ferrets are these like, and they want to bite you. And we had 3 of the nicest ferrets. They just want to cuddle. I can put them right here while they bite your nose, okay? But gently. I mean, they're really not ferocious big rats. When in reality, they are big rats. That's kind of what they are. How many dogs do you have?
I was thinking 11, but we just lost one a few weeks ago. I think we're at 10, including the new puppy. The puppy was
10 dogs.
10 dogs. The puppy
you
was
are
the
nuts. You know that.
Yes.
I'm just comes from a place of love, but nuts.
But we do have a 40-acre ranch.
So where do they live? In the house?
We have a few little dogs in the house. We've got 2 Chihuahuas, a Pomeranian, and the puppy's been kind of living in the house, but it's going to graduate to the outdoors very soon.
Well, California, they can be outdoor dogs.
Yeah.
But how do the bigger dogs not go in the house? Aren't they going to be
Well,
like, yeah, but this guy can't come in?
Well, when it's hot weather, my wife brings even the Great Pyrenees in. They're outside panting. So she puts one in the entryway. We've got baby gates stacked up, and there's a fan blowing on it.
Sounds like the baby gate sounds like our house.
And if we put the 2 of them together, sometimes they fight in this little tiny area. So one of them has to stay in the kitchen with the baby gates over there. And, oh God, it's crazy.
But it sounds like a good life.
Yeah, on these really hot days, you really can't work outside during the afternoon. So the dogs come in and we just chill out for a few hours until the sun goes over the hill and then get back to work.
Dogs and chickens and cows and horses. We know horses.
We have 13 horses.
I'm just thinking. I mean,
it's a lot of work.
We have 10 animals, and I know how much money that is. And I'm thinking, rock stars can't afford animals.
We would live very well if we lived in a condo at the beach or something. But
because they must pretty much just literally eat up everything. Yeah. I mean, 13 horses.
13 horses.
They're the bigger animals, in case you guys didn't know that. And you know, it's not inexpensive to keep a horse. 1, let alone 13.
And we've got 11 goats.
I was gonna go and ask if you have goats. Yeah.
They're pygmy goats. They're little tiny guys.
Goats are scary.
Yeah. You walk in that pen. We used to have 3, and we'd invite company to go in there and take pictures with the goats. But you open that gate now, and they're just like, ah.
I always have animals at the end of my videos from the shelter, or our animals. And we went to see one of Leslie's friends, and she has 4 goats. And so I filmed a whole bunch of goat stuff where they're trying to like ram Leslie to death. And they were like up to here with horns this long.
Yeah, they're probably Nubian goats.
And I was thinking, and they go down and they try to ram you. Yeah. And I'm thinking, they can kill you by accident very quickly. These are not like not dangerous, not undangerous. Undangerous is a word I think I just invented. They're not undangerous animals.
Makes sense.
So you have how many? 11. 11.
Yeah.
But smaller ones, you could just, kick them if you wanted to.
Yeah, they'd go flying.
Yeah. Because the big goats, scary shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
And those are just pets. They're not used for milk or anything. Just my wife loves goats. They're pretty entertaining. I mean, they get up on these runways and they butt heads.
You know Brian Wampler? From Wampler Pedals? You're a bass player.
I'm not a big pedal guy.
Why are we even talking? What are you doing here? Who are you? What?
I plug straight into the amp and use the,
you're a bass player.
the overdrive.
I applaud you for that, because I always say, and I'm a pedal guy, when it comes to bass, straight in.
Yeah. I do use a few. I mean, in the studio, like I just did a thing with Leonid Maximov, and I used Peaktronics, the distortion, with everything maxed out, every button on, going through an envelope filter with everything on into a whammy pedal up an octave.
Yeah, crazy stuff.
Yeah.
The one thing for me for bass is we're getting from goats to bass. That's good. Let's bring it back and then back to the goats. For bass, I usually go DI straight into an interface.
Yeah.
And the dark glass vintage ultra is like a preamp. That thing is the shit.
Yeah.
Because you can go DI and have a distorted or driven signal that just works. Yeah. That thing is not inexpensive.
I use that on almost everything I do these days. Actually, I record a direct signal. I record usually the Bison head or an SVT, and then I add the dark glass signal and just creep that in just to add some edge.
I've done a whole bunch of videos for Thomann for those pedals, and every single one was just perfect. And especially on the vintage ultra, that EQ with the 4 bands, and you can get any kind of sound out of that, from distortion hell to funky, clean. It's a brilliant pedal.
It's not the kind of thing you want to set when you're ready to go on stage.
Really not. No.
There's so many controls. I have mine mounted on my pedal board actually, and I use the dark glass box with the magnetic lid, and I have that screwed into the pedal board, and the pedal's inside the box, so I can close it
and keep the setting the way it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for studio work, I think you, as a bass player, you can go into a studio, put that on the table, done.
Yeah.
You want a little bit of drive, you want it spanky clean, you want real distortion, and you go XLR out and you're good.
Yeah.
So, but we were at the goats. So Brian Wampler makes pedals. I think guitar pedals primarily. And he's got goats. That was my story about Brian Wampler and goats. That is Kiana clapping, the slow clap from the back about Brian Wampler's goats.
Chris Novoselic has goats.
Yeah?
Yeah. Segueing back into bass player stuff. He was actually born on the same day that I was, in 1965. He was born in Compton, down the road from me in Pomona. And when we first met, it was before Nirvana's Nevermind came out. And we were trying to figure out where we met before. It was really weird. Like, we're trying to trace down, okay, we did some stuff with SST Records, and we couldn't figure it out. And a couple years later, he invited me to his house at the end of a tour on the West Coast, and turned out we had the same birthday. He also plays bass barefoot. And then I just noticed online a couple years ago that he has a bunch of goats, and I don't know. There's a lot of weird.
So let's go to that plays bass barefoot. First of all, saying that plays bass barefoot is difficult, but also always.
Yes.
So
I wore shoes on stage one time that I can remember.
So, okay, on stage, that's kind of like, okay, I've seen this band, I can't remember any of the songs, but the bass player was barefoot. That's a good marketing tool. But in the studio?
Not looking at my toes.
But it's something you would remember.
Just from far away, yeah.
But at home too?
I used to do everything barefoot at the ranch. And when I was auditioning for Metallica, Kirk Hammett lectured me on the parasites that are around because of the manure, and kind of freaked me out. So I wear shoes when I'm working, but usually not. I just read an article about how electrically you're grounded to the earth, and it's very beneficial to your health. I don't know how it all works, but I don't know. I've always hated wearing shoes. I have video transferred from 8mm film long time ago. First time I ever put shoes on, and I'm just like horrified. Just
You mean when you were like a child?
Yes.
Because because I'm imagining.
No, this is 16.
Because for me it was like you're 16, 18 when I first did, like coming out of the cave. Because for some reason, don't ask me why, I had that in my head. And please don't judge, but somehow it came across like that.
5 years ago.
5 years ago when I first watched it.
After that talk with Kirk Hammett.
Okay.
It's on iPhone video.
It's on an iPhone. Okay. Yeah, you heard it here. Scott Reader. I don't know why I was imagining that. Okay, so when you were like 2 or something.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
so on Metallica's stage, we toured together in Australia.
You were 2 when you were on Metallica stage. Those guys are old.
They had that snake pit stage, and it was like a metal grate, and it looked like it had rusted a few times and been painted over silver. And I played barefoot on that stage one night, and their production manager freaked out. He said, "This guy's gonna get electrocuted." So the next night, I think we were in Sydney, Australia, and I put my shoes on, and that snake pit stage had like a scaffold that went out to a point, and it dropped down a level, and there was a pit in the middle. It was empty when we played. I had like all these cables linked together with connectors and you know, too many cables, so I could get out on that point and actually be close to the crowd instead of being back on the back of the stage. So anyway, I'm down at that lower level, my hair's in my face, and I turned, and I didn't have my feeling in my feet.
Okay.
My shoe went right through the scaffolding, and I did a face plant in front of like 15 or 16,000 people. And you try to be nonchalant. I meant to do that.
Yes, it's part of the show.
Yeah, picked up my Rickenbacker. It was all out of tune. I went back and plugged in another bass and acted like nothing happened. I compromised the next night and wore socks so the guy wouldn't freak out. But
because the socks really prevent you from being electrocuted.
I would have been famous if I would have been electrocuted on that stage, just frying.
Like, you know, the Spinal Tap drummers.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, you know, the Metallica bass players.
Yeah.
They don't go through that many, really, and they don't die usually.
But it'd be awesome.
Actually, wait, they don't die usually. That was wrong.
Usually,
Some do, some don't, you know? But it's not like Spinal Tap, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm going to get so much hate for that.
Those are some pretty fancy shoes.
I just bought them.
They look
And
comfortable.
I took them to the register, and I thought I had checked the price, but I hadn't. And then I found out how much they really were, and
You're
I
like,
bought them anyway.
I don't want to look like a...
I bought them anyway. These are way above. They have tire rubber at the bottom.
Huh.
Continental. Is that a company in the US? That's a
Yeah.
European like tire. It's actually tire rubber at the bottom.
Yeah.
And that's really all I can say why they would be cool. And they are like socks. So when you wear them, they really feel like socks.
Yeah.
They don't.
It breathes. And
Yeah, but they're really not inexpensive.
yeah.
I can't say how much I spent, but it's ridiculous. It's like you don't spend that much money on shoes, and I shouldn't, yet I did.
I have flat feet and very wide feet, so it's tough to find shoes. These shoes are actually made for Native Americans. My wife can get them through her tribe, and they're wide and flat.
Have Native Americans wider and flatter feet?
That's what I'm told. But they fit.
Things you learn
They actually,
on my channel.
They actually fit very well. So
Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to ask before I let you go from this talk about nothing.
this
many
tortuous.
things. When you, how do you guys go on vacation?
We don't. We haven't
Because
been
with
on-
all the animals, you can't, right?
We haven't been on a vacation together in probably 10 years. We managed to do a cruise in Brazil. But yeah, like I would love it if she were with me right now. But feeding the animals is so complicated. You got to put a couple of dogs over here, a couple of dogs over here. And this one fights with this one. You know, it would be a disaster if we.
So,
both
do you
left.
have, other than the two of you, do you have other people helping?
At the moment, no.
Because, well, what we do, and again, only 5 cats, 3 dogs, and 2 ferrets.
Yeah.
So it's not even remotely close to where you are. Well, for the dogs, we'll actually, which you couldn't do, we'll find 3 different people to take care of them.
Yeah.
Because we're going to go on some island in February, and 2 weeks. So we're going to find, like, Leslie's mom takes one of the dogs or so. We put them into different houses, but then a friend of Leslie's comes and actually stays in a house.
Yeah.
So she's house sitting, and the cats are taken care of, and the ferrets are taken care of. So, I mean, if you had someone that, just knew the day-to-day,
Yeah.
you could just, have someone house sit and take care of the animals.
Yeah, right now it's too complicated. But I cover for her when she wants to take off. She went to Standing Rock for probably 8 days. And and she just went to Vegas for a little bit. So I'm happy to cover for her because I'm going whenever I do my stuff, you know. And I think there's going to be a lot more coming up with Fireball Ministry record coming out.
By the way, Standing Rock, you might have already seen it on this channel. If not, go back, or maybe this video comes out before the other one. I don't know. It's a time travel kind of thing. The Twang Tone by Orion Effekte, Dakota Red pedal. It's a really cool low gain overdrive by Orion. 10% of that, of the sales of that pedal go to Standing Rock and, you know, fighting against pipeline things.
Good.
So that's a really cool thing that they're doing. And they called it Dakota Red because of it's a Fender color or whatever, but also because of, you know.
What company is it?
It's a German pedal company called Orion.
I would like to post that if you have
Absolutely.
a link to that.
Yeah, I'll send you a link. I'll let you know.
Yeah.
And
because the fight still goes on.
Yeah, and they want to support that. And I had some guy. I unboxed it, and the unboxing video went online 3 days ago. And I mentioned in the unboxing video that, you know, what they're doing is good, and they're supporting, you know, the Native Americans and what's happening there. And the guy said, you know, he hates that I'm getting political, and thank you, but he will not buy that pedal. And he was, and I was thinking,
stick your head in the dirt and.
I mean,
yeah, that's crazy.
Why would anyone other than an incredibly rich fuck make? I mean, someone that actually actively financially profits off this fucking pipeline being built. Yeah. Why would someone post on a pedal video like this? Yeah. Well, because the only people that would benefit from this thing being built are, I don't know, people that have stock in oil.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we're talking about upper class rich people that support oil.
I went to Standing Rock for a few days, and it was like a war zone on U.S. soil.
I can't believe that this is happening and that it's continuing to happen.
Yeah, it was a war against Americans on U.S. soil. There were burned out vehicles on the bridge. I saw a standoff on the bridge. There was this girl, this wasn't on TV or any video stuff. This girl, her friend had been shot with a rubber bullet at one of the standoffs like a couple of days before. And she was up on the trucks, with, you know, the razor wire. I'm getting goosebumps. And the police were on the other side with guns pointed at her, and they weren't rubber bullet guns; they were real rifles. And she was screaming at them, "You shot my friend! Fucking shoot me!" And she's just standing up there. And it was so heavy, and
I don't understand how this can still be a thing. I mean, the veterans came and said. I mean, there was, you know, the veterans came and said, this is not the country we fought for.
Yeah. And it was all over oil. And it was Indian land. It was this water that supplies millions of Americans downstream. And they put that damn pipeline under it. And Obama could have stopped it. I mean, I love most of what Obama did, but he just handed it off to Donald Trump, and Donald Trump was a stockholder in this company.
Donald Trump, who of course we know, you know, is all for the Native Americans and not oil. Yeah, you knew at that point that, you know, it was pretty much over. So all you can do is just keep standing there.
But I went for a walk by the river, and I looked up on the hillside, and there were all these security vehicles up there. And I had some binoculars, and I look up there, and there was a sniper pointed right at me the whole time, just watching me.
What were you gonna do?
Yeah, I'm just.
What kind of threat were you?
Yeah, and I wasn't on. I was nowhere near their turf. I wasn't any threat. He was just looking at me, and it was unsettling. I was like, "Holy shit!" And at night there were helicopters and planes circling over the camp, and
it's 2017. I don't understand. I'm so happy I sit in a room and I make pedal videos and penis jokes, and I'm literally kind of hiding from the world because that shit. We're not living in caveman times anymore.
Yeah,
but it feels like this. It literally feels like this.
I would love to just shut the gate of the ranch and put up barbed wire and lock everything out and have some
props
food
to you
delivered.
for going there and standing there. I can say it's too far away. Ticket too expensive, so I can have easy cop out.
Yeah.
But if I lived in the States, I don't know if I had the balls to go there. and fight for what's right. I have to say, I don't know. I hope that I would say I'm gonna freeze my butt off for something that's, you know, a worthy cause. I don't know if I could. So everyone that's standing there, you know, it's biggest respect.
Cheers.
So yeah, thanks for Twang Tone and Orient Reflector for doing that.
Yeah.
I'll definitely send you the link when the video's out.
I want to post that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll buy one.
I'll let them know.
Yeah. Cool.
I guess thanks to you, animals at the end, just like in this video, unless you got something else that's completely unrelated to anything we talked about. Shoes.
No.
Effects,
product
pace,
plugs.
Product plugs. Yay, framers, Warwick.
I did some recordings with Leonid Maximov. I don't know if I mentioned that.
You mentioned that, yes.
One of the songs is going to be on this album, The Bassists Alliance.
I've heard that Bassists Alliance. Yeah.
Jeff Huell's putting that together, and there's all kinds of guests on that thing. He'll have to read you the list. It's pretty crazy. It's an honor to be on it. I think Ryan Martini's on it, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice guy.
Mark Mitchell and Steve DiGiorgio, Adam Needy. It's an honor to be on there.
Loads of bass players. Every time I make a bass player joke on my channel, I get a lot of shit from the bass players. I play bass. I actually probably love playing bass more than guitar, just to let you guys know. But still, you got to make fun of who cares about the bass players. I mean, sometimes you got to do that. And then you probably get, you know, hit behind the scenes by Scott Reeder, but that's okay. If anyone can smack me.
The majority of bass players, watch it, buddy. You can talk about bass players during the Guitar Expo.
But not now. Not during bass camp. Don't make bass jokes during bass camp. No. Well, Scott, thank you so much for hanging out and making a silly video.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching Animals at the End, and thanks to Kiana, the Switch Bitch of the day.
Thank you.
Call me, call me, call me, call me. I sailed all the 7 seas, but your light I could